From now on until the end of the conference, you are welcome to raise questions through live Q&A chat box. A Q&A section will be included near the end of each section. Now, I'd like to introduce our keynote speaker, Professor Shui-fong Lam. Shui-fong Lam is a professor in the Faculty of Social Sciences at the University of Hong Kong, Hong Kong U. She has been working as the Hong Kong U since 1994 after she obtained her PhD degree in school psychology from the University of Minnesota. Professor Lam has received the Outstanding Teaching Award from the Hong Kong U and the Outstanding International Scholar Award from the International School Psychology Association. Her research interests lie in achievement motivation, parenting, instructional strategies, mindfulness, and positive psychology. She is now the director of the Jockey Club Peace and Awareness Mindfulness Culture in School Initiative, a project with the mission to promote mindfulness in schools. Professor Lam, please.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so pleased that I have an opportunity to introduce mindfulness to the educators. And today, I would like to first discuss with you the effectiveness of mindfulness and the definitions of mindfulness, and also that why mindfulness is so helpful. And we'll look into the mechanisms. And at the end, I will try to discuss how mindfulness can be applied in education and help the well-being of students. Okay, now, first of all, let's look at the effectiveness of mindfulness. In the recent years, a lot of the research have shown that mindfulness is able to reduce stress, anxiety, and depression. And even the Institute for Health and Clinical Excellence refer patients for the 8-week mindfulness course, and it is covered by insurance. And also that there are lots of neuropsychological studies show that mindfulness can reduce the activity of amygdala, which is the key button of our emotion. And also that mindfulness is able to enhance the immune system and also enhance the quality of life and wellness. Let's look at this graph. You can see that from 1980 to 2018, you can see an exponential increase of the research and studies in mindfulness. You can imagine, like in 30 or 40 years ago, that when you're studying in a graduate school, you would like to work on your dissertation, you went to see your research supervisor. If you asked him to supervise you on a research on mindfulness, that I think that you would get a reprimand from him. But now there's a lot of the research working on mindfulness, and even that I myself have several doctoral students working on mindfulness. Okay, then exactly what is mindfulness? Then here is the definition provided by the pioneer who applied mindfulness in the medical setting. Then he's John Kabat-Zinn. That the way that he defined mindfulness is the following. He said that mindfulness means the awareness that arises from paying attention on purpose in the present moment and non-judgmentally. When you look at this definition, it looks like that every single word is simple, but when they are put together, that you get lost. You do not know exactly what that means. What is awareness? When we are not sleeping, that we are having awareness, right? And how can that you pay attention non-judgmentally? Non-judgmentally, does it mean that you do not use your brain? What exactly it is? Okay, because truth cannot be spoken. But and if it is spoken, it is not the permanent truth. That in Chinese, we all know this saying, 道可道非常道. And mindfulness is not something that you can understood conceptually or intellectually. That mindfulness have to be understood by direct experience. Okay, now, this is not something mysterious. Actually, you can easily understand this idea. Okay, now, for example, if you have a friend who have never tasted honey before, and then he came to you and asked, what is the taste of honey? And how would you reply him? Do you say that what is this is sweet? And then he said, how sweet it is. He said, is it as sweet as chocolate? Oh, no, no, no. You will say that it is not as bitter as the chocolate. And then he answered, then is it as sweet as strawberry? Then you say, no, 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 not as sour. But what exactly is honey? Then perhaps you will try to get the definition from looking into the Wikipedia, and then got the chemical formula of honey, which is C6, H12, and O6, which is very accurate. When you show this formula to your friend, he still does not know what exactly honey is. Mindfulness is something like honey. You have to taste it before you can really, really understand what it is. You can never understand it by definition, by language, or by concepts. Okay, now, let's do a mindfulness sitting. And then we can see exactly what mindfulness is. Here, that I would invite you to find a comfortable chair to sit down. Okay, now, you see that when we sit, we do not sit away, sit leaning on the back of the chair. We try to sit away from it so that our spine can be upright and our shoulder relaxed. Now, when you think about people who meditate, you think that, wow, those people are sitting with the lotus position, with their leg crossed and then the soul facing up to the sky. No, 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 no. You don't need to do that. Actually, you can sit comfortably in a chair, like what I'm doing here. Okay, now, if you prefer that, you can gently sitting upright with at ease and also with dignity, with the shoulder relaxed, and the hands, you can put it on your lap. Okay, now, then I will ring the bell to indicate the beginning and also the end of the meditation. Okay, sitting here, you may gently close the eyes, having the hands on the laps, shoulder relaxed, and the spine upright. Sitting here with the feet on the floor and the bum on the chair. Gently moving the attention to the sole of the feet, noticing how your feet are in contact with the floor, or with the socks, or with the shoes. Noticing any feelings, any sensations in the feet, the warmness, or the fuzzing or fizzling sensations. In the next out-breath, moving the attention to the cleft, noticing the muscles, the skin. In the next out-breath, directing the attention to the knees and noticing the joints and the contact with the clothing, any tightness, any numbness. In the next out-breath, shifting the attention to the thighs, to the big muscles, to the bones, and even to the contact with the lap and your hands, and the pressure. In the next out-breath, moving the attention to the buttock, to the hip, noticing the weight of the body on the chair. Now, turning the attention to the front part of the body, the tummy, and noticing how the breath coming in and out, and the rising and the falling of the tummy. Focusing the attention to the breath, noticing how the breath coming in and how the breath is going out. The whole process, breathing in and out. Noticing the air coming in through the nostrils, warm and moist, and also breathing out. Or noticing the pause in between the in-breath and the out-breath. Sooner or later, you will find that the attention is no longer on the breath, or maybe on daydreaming, or moving to planning, or worrying. If you find the mind has wandered, it is not a mistake. Just gently bringing the attention back to the breath. The minds wander 10 times, then gently bringing it back to the breath 10 times. When the breath wanders away 100 times, also bringing it back 100 times. With gentleness, kindness, and patience. In a moment, you will hear the bell ring. When you no longer hear the sound of the bells, you can gently open your eyes and then complete this practice. Okay, we have done 5 minutes meditation practice. Then I would like you to answer your questions. That's when you were practicing, where was your mind? Was it in the breath? Did it go away to the past or to the future? Most of the time, our mind are not at the present moment. We are thinking about what we have to do next, or maybe ruminate about the past, okay, saying sorry that we have done this and that yesterday. Okay, now in mindfulness, we try to practice, they say exactly what John Kabat-Zinn said, that's the awareness. When we are paying attention truly to the present moment, noticing the breath and nothing else. And even when the mind wanders away, we do not criticize it, being non-judgmental, and bringing it back with gentleness, with kindness, and with patience. And that exactly is mindfulness. Okay, now I would like to answer your question. Have you ever had the following experiences? like forgot to get off the bus or MTR, or maybe not sure whether soap has been used during a shower, or maybe intend to send a message but got distracted after looking at your phone, right? Okay. Now, and also, have you done that too? That is multitasking. Okay, now, eating your lunch at the same time, watching the TV, or even watching your computer and working and sending email. We all do things like this. We are not living at the present moment, as John Kabat-Zinn has suggested, non-judgmentally, at the present moment. Okay, now here is a story in the Song dynasty. Then a person came to see a Zen master, Hui Hai, and asked him that how did he practice as a monk. And then Master Hui Hai said that the way to practice is to eat when hungry and when to sleep when tired. And that person challenged him, well, everybody does that. Then he said, oh, most people are not eating when they eat and are not sleeping when they sleep. And mindfulness is really coming back to the present moment and enjoy the present moment and wholeheartedly, non-judgmentally. Okay, now, then that is simple. Even that, you say that may not be very easy because I guess most of you, when you are doing the 5 minutes meditation practice, most of the time that your mind go away. But still, it's a very simple thing. Then why it is so effective? Now that I would like to use 2 Chinese characters to explain the secrets in mindfulness. Okay, now the first one is the word lim. Okay, now, that's those who know Chinese. You know this character is composed by 2 components. The first one, the upper one is present. And then the lower part is the heart. That means when you put your heart at the present moment, it can be very therapeutic and healing. Why? Okay, now, I would like to let the protagonist, Abo, from the animation, Kung Fu Panda, to explain to you why it was the case. That if you have watched Kung Fu Panda, you know that Abo was first working in the noodle shop with his adopted father, but somehow that he was discovered by a Kung Fu master and would like to train him to be the dragon warrior. But at the beginning, it was not successful. Abo was fat, he ate a lot, and also that he would never can compare with his classmates. Those, I think there will be 5 of them. One is a tiger, and the other one is a snake or whatever. All these classmates have excellent Kung Fu, and then Abo could never compare to them. Okay, now then Abo was in distress. When he was in distress, and then what will he do? Okay, he ate a lot. Okay, now while he was eating a lot of things, then his master came and gave him some advice. Let's look at what advice that his master gave him.
I see you have found a sacred peach tree of heavenly wisdom.
Oh, is that what this is? I am so sorry. I thought it was just a regular peach tree.
I understand. You eat when you are upset.
Upset? I'm not upset. What makes you think I'm upset?
So why are you upset?
I probably sucked more today than anyone in the history of Kung Fu, in the history of China, in the history of sucking.
Probably.
And the 5. Man, you should have seen them. They totally hate me.
Totally.
How's Shifu ever gonna turn me into the Dragon Warrior? I mean, I'm not like the 5. I've got no claws, no wings, no venom. Even Mantis has those thingies. Maybe I should just quit and go back to making noodles.
Quit, don't quit. Noodles, don't noodles. You are too concerned with what was and what will be. There's a saying, yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift. That is why it is called the present.
Okay, Apple got it. Do you got it too? Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, but today is a gift, and that's why it is called the present. And most of the time, when people are depressed, they ruminate about the past. When people are anxious, they worry about the future. That means they are not living at the present moment. When you are able to really, really embrace the present moment and live well every day, then you can get away from the depression and anxiety. Okay, if today is not well lived, tomorrow will be hopeless. And even yesterday, how good it was, it does not matter, because you will try to compare why yesterday was so good and today is so bad. So that it is so important that we live at the present moment. Okay, here is another word that can explain the effectiveness of mindfulness. This is the word no anger. If you know Chinese, you know that this word is also composed of two parts. The upper part is slave, and then the lower part is heart. That means when you are angry, you become the slave of your own emotion. That means you are not doing the things with freedom. You're somehow controlled by your emotion. And then you will do something that you will regret. Okay, now here, I would like to show you a news clip which has happened some years ago. Okay, now here was a story about a father that when he found that his daughter was plagiarizing, that means copying the homework of the classmate, he was so angry. Actually, this is a family that's with very low socioeconomic status. The dad was a security guard, the mom is a cleaning lady. They tried so hard to provide the best for the daughter, but somehow the daughter was not really living up to their expectations. Okay, now here is the story about how the father reacted when he found out that his daughter was plagiarizing.
抄功課俾虎爸吊起虐打，11歲女宣告不治。喺浙江杭州做學校保安嘅虎爸，星期一下晝5點幾接11歲嘅小麗放學，阿女喺保安室做功課，點知激嬲老豆要罰企。夜晚老豆發現佢抄同學功課，即刻扯晒火，阿媽阻都阻唔住。老豆拉小麗入車棚，吊住嚟打。阿媽知老公打完先吞得落啖氣，就冇理到。打咗成分鐘，老豆就反綁小麗對手罰佢跪。半個鐘之後，見個女已經冇晒呼吸，即刻送佢入醫院。老豆跪響 ICU 門口，係咁喊同跪拜。醫生搶救咗18個鐘，第二日下晝2點幾，小麗救唔返啦。阿媽好傷心，而老豆就拉咗。人哋話虎父無犬女，但今次就造成悲劇啦。
Okay, he eventually killed his own daughter. You may say that, well, this is a very exceptional case. Not many fathers are like that. Yes, this is an exceptional case, so that it became national news. But somehow we all know that when we are angry, sometimes we will say hurtful words to our loved ones because we are under rage, and then we became the slave of our own emotion. So that I would like to say that mindfulness involves what we call the mindfulness ABC. What exactly the ABC? A is awareness. That means we are aware at the present moment, our own emotion. And then the second is being with it. That means we know that being with the emotion without judgment first. And then when we calm down, we are able to make the choice. Just imagine the father who killed his own daughter. If he was able to slow down, or maybe not doing the 5 minutes meditation that we did earlier this morning, but maybe just calm down and coming to his breath for only 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, I think that he will be able to have the response, not the reaction. Reaction isn't something that this is something like a reflex that you cannot control. But response has a space. That means when you're able to be mindful, to be calm, that you're able to make a wise choice. This is what we call by ABC. And then the ideas of ABC in mindfulness is quite related to the Asian Chinese philosophy, in like Confucianism. Okay, in Greek learning, 大學, there is a saying, when you know where to stop, you have stability. When you have stability, you can be tranquil. When you are tranquil, you can be at ease. When you are at ease, you can deliberate. When you can deliberate, you can attain your aims. 知止而後有定，定而後能靜，靜而後能安，安而後能慮，慮然後能得. It is exactly mindfulness ABC. Okay, and even Taoism also have similar saying that Zhuangzi said, when water is still, one's beard and eyelashes are reflecting it. A skilled carpenter uses it in a level to obtain a measurement. If still water is so clear, and how much more the mental faculties? The mind of the sage is the mirror of the heavens and earth, in which all things are reflected. 聖人之心正乎，天地之鑑也，萬物之鏡也. When your mind is still, it's like a mirror that can reflect the reality. But when your mind are really ruffled and are not settled, that you're unable to see clearly. And even Bible also have the same saying, in quietness and trust is your strength. So I would say mindfulness is a common heritage from many religious and spiritual traditions. It is not something monopolized by a certain religion. Some people will believe that, mindfulness is only by the Buddhists. No, I will not say so. It is really a common heritage from many different religious and spiritual traditions. Okay, now here you can see that there are many different translations for mindfulness. Some people call it 靜觀 or 靜念禪修, 靜修靈修, whatever. Okay, now it depends. It doesn't matter because it depends on your spiritual traditions. If you are a Buddhist, of course, you will call it 靜念 or 禪修. Or if you are Catholic, you will call it 靜修. Or if you are a Christian, you will say that it is 靈修 or 默想. Okay, now all these words are okay. But there's one word I would like to use more, that is 靜觀, because it is a secular one. And this is exactly the mindfulness that I would like to introduce to the schools in Hong Kong. And among all these terms, there's one term I do not use, which is the last one, 冥想. Because 冥in Chinese has something like mysterious or dark. For example, we all know that 香燭冥強, or maybe you know that the bank for 陰獅子 is actually 冥通銀行. So that I would not use this word because I hope that I can maintain the secular traditions of the mindfulness that I'm going to introduce in school. Okay, now here, that is the missions of our project. We would like to build the mindfulness cultures in Hong Kong. And then we all know that's the tradition, the conditions of Hong Kong students, that 16 of them have psychological difficulties. And also how about teachers? Teachers are not much better. Even that we all know that education here, I think most of you are educators. We are in a high-risk profession. That in the general population, the prevalence rates of anxiety is around like 4%, but among teachers, it was as high as 13%. Okay. And here, even the parents are not much better than the students and also the teachers. And you can see that 40% of the parents being interviewed by the YWCA said that they have zero me time, no personal time. And then many of them are feeling frustrated, angry, irritated, exhausted, particularly for mother. Okay, now you see, students, teachers, and parents are all in the pressure cooker. Okay, then we hope that our project can bring in the following 3 courses of mindfulness to this school in Hong Kong. We translated the 3 courses developed by the MISP, Mindfulness in School Project, which is a charity organization in England. Pause B is a 12-section course for primary school kids, and Dot B is a 10-section course for secondary school students, and Dot B Foundations of 8-week mindfulness course for teachers and parents. We hope that these courses can be an integral part of the SEL, that is social-emotional learning curriculum in the school setting. Then our project would like to adopt a train-the-trainers approach. That means we do not go into the school to teach the student Dot B or Pause B. We hope that we can train the teachers so that the teachers can integrate this curriculum into their SEL, the social-emotional learning curriculum. And also that we hope that we can train the school professional helpers, like the educational psychologists, the social workers, and SGP, so that they can teach other teachers and also parents the Dot B foundations. Here that we have 9 SID schools and 27 affiliated schools, and also a growing numbers of network schools participating in our project. Now, you can see that from this MTR map, that you can see that the locations of our 9 SID schools. We hope that, now, we particularly will choose the school that is close to the MTR station, because we hope that this SID school can be the hub for the schools around them in that district. For example, like in Shangshui, there is a school that's Chen Sik Wang, the primary school, so that the school teachers in the North Districts can go to that place to take the 8-week mindfulness course offered by our projects. And also we hope that these schools are able to be the resources. That means they will hold regular mindfulness gathering for the educators so that they can come and learn and also to enjoy mindfulness. What we would expect is that we hope that we can mobilize the existing resources so that to make mindfulness sustainable in Hong Kong. Okay, now this is our missions, and then if you would like to know more about our projects and also to get the resources from our projects, you may follow us. Here is our project website and also our IG and our Facebook. Okay, this is what I am going to share with you today. Any questions I would like to address?
Sharing the amazing meditation and mindfulness practice with us. The floor is now open for a Q&A section. If you have any questions for Professor Lam, please submit it through the live Q&A chat box. Our speaker, Professor Lam, will answer selected questions. Thank you. So, Professor Lam, we have received a question. The question is, if we are to run mindfulness initiative in post-secondary education, students' motivation or interest would be a key factor determining the success. Given common stereotype about mindfulness, for example, boring, religion-related, are there any advice for institutions?
Okay, I think there are several ways to do that. Number one, I think that some of the post-secondary school students, for example, like in Ivy or maybe in some technical vocational institutes, that I think the Dot B curriculum is still appropriate for them. Okay, now for that particular curriculum, you can see that this 10-section curriculum, they adopt of adolescents or youth-friendly attitude. For example, like they call the curriculum Dot B. They do not call it the mindfulness course. Why? Because they would like to make it sheets and chill. For example, like the iPhone, .com, whatever. And then Dot B is this stop and breathe and living at the present moment, being. We try to use some language the adolescents or the youth can feel friendly. This is first one. And then for example, like the Kung Fu Panda video that I showed you earlier is actually from that curriculum. They will try to use a lot of interesting animations to help the students. And then number 2 is that I think that we can make it fun and make it helpful. For example, like today, I also have a workshop with you in 11:45. And in that workshop, I will demonstrate how we can conduct a mindfulness workshop in stress reduction for students. That I exactly demonstrate how I do it with adolescents. And I will encourage you to come to that workshop. And also I will offer all the resources package because, of course, I cannot train you right away to be the mindfulness teachers. But I think that you can use this package to practice mindfulness with the students and help the student to understand how mindfulness can help them. Mindfulness is not something religious thing, but exactly that can help them. For example, like a lot of the kids are under stress. And then the workshop that I'm going to demonstrate later in the 11:45 is exactly addressing academic stress. When they cannot sleep well, when they're unable to concentrate, when they do poorly in examination, how to deal with that. And here is some tools that you can use. So that I think that make it, number 1, make it funny. Number 2, make it helpful. When it is helpful, the kid will buy it.
Great. So we look forward to the mindfulness workshop later. The next question is, so how can we know if student participants are really focusing during mindfulness practice or activities, but not daydreaming?
Okay, you can never tell. Only the meditator can tell whether he or she is daydreaming or really meditating. But it doesn't matter. Most important thing is the intention. If they're able to allow themselves a time slot to slow down, and even during the daydreaming, they're able to observe their own daydreaming. This is also mindfulness. I think it is most important part is that intention and also the time slot. They can allow them to slow down. And then maybe at the beginning, there's a lots of daydreaming. It doesn't matter. When time progresses, then they may enjoy it and they really can focus on the breath. And also even when daydreaming coming out, when some difficult thoughts coming out, and they can still observe those thoughts. And this is actually what we mean by mindfulness.
Excellent. Thank you, Professor Lam, for your great sharing and answering our audience questions. This section has now come to an end. Now let's have a 10-minute break. The next section will start at 10:55.
Thank you.